Okay, test 1 2 1 2 1 2. What is going on? Hold up. Okay, you guys. Shenanigans already. Yes, that was very interesting. And I still don't know exactly what's going on here. Hold up, y'all. Okay, that one's live. This one's getting deleted. Oh, goodness gracious. Yes, yes. Okay. Okay. Okay, yay, Natalie, you made it over. Hello, Sam. Hello, Natalie. I hope Laura makes it over. Hi, Roxanne. Oh my goodness. Hi, Willow Owl. Yeah, there was only one, and you guys don't know how many times I checked and double checked. First of all, check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. I've got the drums turned way down tonight because, yes, I hope Laura made it. Let's get everybody together first. So, can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? I see me. All right. Yeah. Okay. So I started getting set up for this at 2 o'clock this afternoon because of the shenanigans. So, sorry, fucking with things. So, okay, good. I'm glad. And the drums can, it's okay if you can just barely hear them because I had someone that, she's in the UK, so she can't make lives anyway, but she said she couldn't really watch the lives after because she gets migraine and the drums are a triggering thing for her. And I don't want anybody not to be able to come and hang out with us because it causes them pain. So, okay, good. So I will tell you, I started getting things set up because I wanted to change my desktop, and I turned my cameras on, and my overhead cam was haunted as hell, and it just takes me doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again until it decides not to be an asshole anymore. And then I double checked. I got on here and it's like, okay, here's the stream I have scheduled. I have it scheduled for the right day and the right time. Everything's right. Okay, everything's good. Everything's right. Let's go live. And I go live, and my thing is telling me I'm live, but I'm looking at my channel and the scheduled thing, and it says going live in 10 minutes, and I can't see myself. So I have no idea, you guys. It's just fucking shenanigans, and I'm so sorry, but we're here. But we need to find Laura. Laura, where are you, dear? Okay, let's see if we can at her. Yeah, because I deleted that other one just so it's not that as confusing as it can be. Sorry, I have to look around my microphone here. I'm getting so tired of just the fits that electronic things are throwing. Anyway, welcome to you all. I'm so glad you made it. You made it. Yeah, it wasn't your internet glitch. It was mine because I was live and YouTube was saying, yeah, you're not on yet. 10 minutes. I'm like, no, did I schedule it for 7:40? So I went and looked and no. So anyway, welcome to you all. I'm so, so glad you're here. I hope that if you're in the US and you gather together for Gratitude Day, I hope that you had a good one and a safe one. And And as always, right off the rip here, so many prayers going out to all the suffering people on this planet, all the suffering people. So now that we're here, I do have something to talk about tonight. Let's see, where's Stephanie? Yeah, it's things are glitching all over the place. Facebook has just been a clown show. All right, so Stephanie, we haven't gotten back yet. All right. I don't know her whole name on here, or I would at her. See if we can find her. Capricorn Moon Goddess. Hey, I'm so glad you made it. Welcome, my dear. Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So I do have a thing that I want to talk about. I've had lots of thoughts dancing through my mind lately, and particularly, as the holidays TM kick off. And, thinking about the pandemic and the lockdown years and how, we're not done. We're not out of this yet. We're still recovering. And one of the things that, came crashing in on so many people during the lockdowns is not being able to spend the holidays with your family. And so, when we grow up, while we're growing up, we get habituated to, here's the way my family does this. If you're lucky enough to have a family and have, holidays every year and stuff like that. And so, oh, here's what we always did. We did this, we did this. Here's what we had for dinner. Here's how my mom made this. Here's how we decorated. Here's the music we listened to. Here's all this stuff. And what follows that list of things is, and it just doesn't feel like Christmas unless ... And for good reason, because that's the context. Those are the surroundings, the smells, the sights, the sounds, everything that really goes along with the spirit of things. And so, we every year they roll around and we look for that feeling, that spirit. And God help you if snow is the thing that makes you feel that spirit, because that's all bets are off there. But what it really is essentially is sort of a hooking together of two things, and that is that feeling, the spirit and the trappings get hooked together. So this is kind of a definition of the difference between religion and spirituality. So a lot of that external context, and that's the context is external, right? The spirit's internal, the context is external. And that external context has a lot to do with whatever religion we were raised in, if there was any, and because that the holiday spirit, Christian holidays, all that kind of stuff, which is one of the great things about being pagan, is we can unhook those. But so we and religion, I'm sorry, my thoughts are confused. This came as such a download, and it's like I was trying to think my way through in a logical process, but it ain't gonna happen. So religion is about connecting to something externally, right? Connecting to a context, to a set of beliefs, to to liturgy, to ritual, whatever those things are, to whatever religious songs were sung around that time. But religion really is external. We come in as innocent little babies. We have to be taught the trappings of particular religions. They are not organic. They're not innate. They don't just grow out of us. We have to be taught them. And then, we get layers of to belong to this context, is to do things this way. So we get hooked to the external context through religion, through family, through both at the same time, most of the time. But then what happens, and it's great, we roll along, we have our Christmases and everything's familiar and we feel the spirit every year. But then every once in a while, there's just one of those years where it's like, I'm just not feeling it. The weather's off, or, this is wrong, or one of your family members can't be there. The first time, one time my daughter couldn't be here for Thanksgiving because she was touring. It's like it just doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel the same. Now, the pandemic shook that. It shook that for us, that sense of familiarity, because all of that context got disrupted. We couldn't go to church if that's what your practice is. We couldn't get together with our families. There was so much fear and anxiety and worry. And, did people even have the energy to do things the way they usually do them? I mean, the second Christmas, when suddenly people had been exposed and we couldn't be together that year either, my husband and I drove down and dropped off presents and cookies and everything. We just traded and then came back home and set up the laptops and FaceTimed and, opened presents together and celebrated together. But I'm finding now, after, 2021 and 22, 3 years of things getting upheaved, that now, and it's also, a symptom of having kids that are grown and not living here anymore. I mean, my son is, but my daughter isn't. So we have people coming and then going again. And I'm finding that I've lost like the passion to, we've got to put all these decorations and do it this way. And we had so much kind of forcibly taken from us that I'm finding that I'm much more flexible and much more aware of what really matters and what really doesn't. And I find that the external trappings, and also this is a symptom of just getting older and not wanting to do all of that. We don't have to make the Santa Claus magic for little kids. But it's like, like the first year that we got an artificial tree because my allergies couldn't take it anymore. Okay, things change. Well, let's change this. Now we've had in April, they put a whole new front door thing on for us. We used to have this huge window and we had this whole thing where we hung, white lights around the outside, and we hung this beaded garland and hung these little mirror balls at the end of it. Just fabulous. Well, we have a much smaller window now. We're going, how are we going to do this? What are we going to do? How are we going to do it? How are we going to do it? And I said to my husband and my son, who do most of the decorating now, we don't need to do it that way. No, but it's, and so my son's like, but we always, and it's like, well, let's rethink, we can do this and we can do this. And so what is happening here is sort of a switching over from the importance of the context and the trappings to the importance of, it doesn't matter as long as my family's here and safe and healthy, so we're switching. And during this whole time, of course, we're watching this transformation happen in people going to church. It's not happening that much. And, it's not happening as much. People are moving away from that external context. And that's because there's been so many, the witchcraft movement, the neo-pagan movement, the huge spotlights on indigenous cultures. It's really showing us the way to that spirituality rather than religion and that external connection. And, really, if you want to talk about it in just huge general terms, as far as like psychological maturity goes, internal referencing is the mature. When you're externally referenced, it's very ego bound. But when you're internally referenced, that's like the best place you can get to. Where's my moral compass? It's right here, because I know right from wrong. And I have my own belief system. Personal, that's spirituality. Rather than here's what I was taught and what the commandments say, So that change was happening. So it's making it a little bit easier now for people to let go of more of those old trappings and really focus on the spirit of the holiday. What makes you feel like it's the holiday? It's my family and I sitting down together because we had this agreement together that this is what Christmas is. And we get up on Christmas morning and we have our strata and we open presents. And that's what makes it feel like Christmas, Yule. I mean, I say Christmas because that's what I was raised with, not Christian Christmas. But that ultimately is resilience. When you are spiritually internally referenced, it is harder to knock you down by taking the externals away. It's harder to control you, with externals when you have a deep spirituality and you are that internally referenced, and you have the magic where you can tap in and make that spirit happen. You know, my husband and I manufactured Christmas out of practically nothing some years. You know, I literally sewed Christmas. And, you know, my kids have the most fabulous memories. So we made it happen every time. And now it's very, and in the, you know, early days, I was very controlling, you know, the decoration's going to be this way. And now as I get older, it's like, I'm much more flexible. Let's do this. How can we all have what we want? How can we change it up? And, you know, it's not throwing it all out. It's just being flexible and changing things, because we're going to be happy and we're going to feel the spirit no matter what changes in the external context, as long as our family is together. So, okay, now I got to scroll back because you guys are having a wonderful conversation. And Natalie's here from the future, Saturday morning in Australia. Oh, snacks and tea. Hi, Tavia. I was wondering if you were here. Yes, we are biologically designed for spiritual experiences. I agree. Hello, welcome, Maruta. We really are. And it takes abuse, in my opinion, to get us so strongly externally referenced. We have to be bullied into absolutely not trusting ourselves. You know, we have to be bullied into adherence to religion the way, you know, the way they want it. Because if you take those externals away and just give them life, especially life connected to nature, you're going to end up with a bunch of pagans. So, all righty. Whoops, wait a minute. I'm going back. Yeah, and I mean, we do, because I love candles and because we love our magic at Yule. You know, it's always, we do it because we love it and we enjoy it. So, ooh, pardon me. Okay. Oh, Capricorn moon goddess. Yeah. Good luck, honey. Good luck. Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's hard to have that conversation. And one of my favorite quotes about discussing, you know, spirituality with very religious people that don't get it is never attempt to teach a pig to sing. It wastes your time and it annoys the pig. So you have my permission to avoid conversations like that in the future if you want to. Okay, Tavia says the decorating and making it beautiful, shifting energy in the house is my favorite part. Yes, wrapping a package creatively. Yes, it is art. I used to go insane wrapping stuff. These days, the wrapping isn't that big of a deal to me because I just lost that fire. Samantha says, I enjoy celebrating the entire season, so days spent making cookies with the grandbabies or making crafts or making pinecone birdseed things to hang out in the trees. Yes, absolutely. And I'm so happy because my daughter, who lives about 45 minutes away and does not drive, so we pick her up and take her home and stuff. Every year we talk about, you know, we want to do this, we want to make these, we want to do that, and then she gets very busy and she's not up here. So she said yesterday, why don't I just come up for like 3 days every week and we'll bake, and we'll be like, yay! So we will do lots of baking and fun things. And what she's really into this year, she wants to make cranberry garland and popcorn garland and all that kind of stuff. Natalie, my mother, to the day she died, didn't understand. She had some glimmers. Even in her dementia, there were some glimmers that came through, but she was a fundy. And she, you know, she was also a narcissist. So she would go to my friends and my husband and try to triangulate them, try to manipulate them into making me not be pagan anymore. And of course, they came and told me immediately, and we laughed and laughed and laughed. So, you know, that's how that went. I embrace all the the traditions. What's convenient about being pagan is when you finally let go of the Christian stuff and you realize, oh, all the shit that I did that were Christian things that, you know, made it feel like Christmas were actually pagan traditions. So what did we lose? Just the guilt. Okay. Why, thank you, Laura. Having tea is British. We've come up. All right, let's see here. Buy the big cute gift bags to avoid. Yes, me too. We've had gift bags I've used for years and years and years and years. So yes, I also don't buy wrapping paper anymore because it's more trees going down, you know. So I agree with that, Capricorn. Hi, Jessica. You're not late. You're just in time. All righty. Let's see if we can get ourselves a going here. Oh my goodness. So we cooked and cooked yesterday. And, you know, one of the things that had me thinking about it is we can't do poultry anymore. My daughter has become increasingly sensitive and she got sick once because her boyfriend ate chicken, her then boyfriend ate chicken, and she kissed him later that night, and she was violently ill. So, I mean, no poultry of any kind. So it's like, that's okay. We can have Thanksgiving without turkey, you know? And we did. We had stuffing with a different kind of, with a vegetarian broth. We had mashed potatoes and beef bone broth gravy. We had ham, green bean casserole, cranberry sauce, all the other stuff. But it was us together around the table that made it Thanksgiving. So I offer you this sacred smoke by air and fire. May we be purified and charged. Let that sage open up our minds, inspire us, open up our eyes, give us clear vision. And by water and earth, may we be blessed and made whole. By the sound of the bell, hey, wait. Allow that sound to just clear the space around you, clear the space in your head, clear out that chatter, let it go for now, just a couple hours. You can reclaim everything after. And then let's invite Spirit in. May Spirit be present. Now, get yourself settled in. Should I put myself in the middle? Should I be in the middle? What do you think? Sure, why not? Why not? All right. So get comfortable, settle back on whatever you're sitting on, whatever you're lying down on, uncross your ankles. Feet flat on the floor if you're sitting up. Roll your shoulders back. Let's have a little bit of a stretch, Luna. Okay, there went that shoulder, and there went that one. My shoulders are feeling better and better and better. Every day is better. Every day I regain more movement. Yay. And I thank you guys for that. It's like when I asked for the prayers, the next day my shoulder pain dropped significantly. So I am so grateful to you for that healing energy. So, all right, settle into your body. Settle down, exhale, let your belly be loose, unclench your butt cheeks, wiggle your legs back and forth, let your muscles be nice and loose. Settle down in and feel your skin. Feel all the textures, the temperatures, pressures, pains, just let them be. And now let your breathing, focus on that for a little bit, mostly focusing on the out-breath. And making sure you get a full exhale. Exhaling fully before you take in the next breath. And when you take in the next breath, let the air fill your lungs up from the bottom all the way up to the top. Your lungs go like from here all the way down to the bottoms of your ribs. So you got a lot of space to fill there, but don't strain. And as you're breathing, allow yourself to start to relax. Allow your awareness to come into this space, this moment, this place, this time, this eternity. That is every breath. Let everything else go. And then feel the base of your spine, your root chakra. Feel a root go down into the earth. And as soon as it goes down and connects with that earth energy, it's like they become one and you feel it flood up into your body. Green and gold. The more you do this, the faster it goes, because you're never disconnected. You're only consciously disconnected. And so the more you do it, as soon as you put your attention there, you notice that you are already filled up with earth energy, and it is rushing around and swirling through your body. And everything is breathing. As the energy moves through, it creates space, and everything starts to breathe more. More space means relaxation. It means easy breath. Feel that energy from the tips of your toes all the way up to the top of your head, to the tips of your fingers. Green, gold, spinny, flashy, warm and tingly. And if you feel like you need to stretch or move as this energy moves, that's just fine. That's what it wants you to do. And now exhaling all the way. And on the next inhale, pull up that earth energy so bright. See the green and gold spark and flash. Only exhale the air, not the energy, again. In, bright, 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 intense. Exhale only the air all the way out. And in again. Crank it to 11. Feel it instantly in every part of your body. And now breathe it out the crown of your head. And watch that energy shoot up all the way out, at least as far as your fingertips and your feet. Sometimes it goes out bigger. Sometimes we have to push it out a little bit. And watch it come down around you on all sides, touch the earth, sink down, and follow that cord back down. You are part of the earth. Your body, every bit of your substance is the earth. And so this keeps you very grounded in the physical realm. And now let's open up the crown to cosmic energy. And as soon as you do, you just feel it pour down in blue and silver. The blue and silver, the green and gold attract each other like magnets. We have form and formlessness, space and earth, sun and earth, moon, stars and earth. From the formless void of all potential to the form of earth and concrete form. Concrete manifestation. And so you feel that pouring down in you, and then it comes down, that grounding cord a little ways, joins with the sphere of the egg, comes back around the outside up into the cosmos. Give your body, your mind, your emotions, your psyche, your spirit permission to release into this circuit anything that is not your own, anything that is not benefiting you. If there are things that really are yours to work on, they'll be there. But for this time, they can take a giant step into the background. so you can be fully here and now. And now on the next inhale, inhale all the way. And let's take a layer with the exhale, push it out. Feel it connect with everyone else's. And know that the boundary that you sit within filters out anything that doesn't already belong to you. Anything that is not of your nature, anything harmful, anything that isn't your vibe, it filters it out for you, allowing you to share pure energy. We share pure energy with each other. So let's stop for a second, open up the heart chakra, let that beautiful green light pour out there front and back, and let that green go into that layer that you pushed out. See this beautiful green sphere of heart energy, creating a grid around this planet that connects us through perfect love and perfect trust, compassion and empathy. Freely given to all who need it. And it's only when we're really in gratitude that we can release and let go and give away. And now into this space, invite your guides and guardians, your allies and ancestors, gods and goddesses. You can name them out loud, bring them into the circle if you wish. The spirit that holds us all together, the spirit that belongs equally to us all, undifferentiated. And we offer fresh water and the fire of Azrael, and I welcome in my guides, my gang. Thank you so much for being here. I will do my best to just get out of the way so your messages can come through. Thank you for being here. All right. Okay, yes, let's meet our decks. All right, reading comments now. Willow Owl says, I did the traditional holiday activity for my children who are all grown up now. I now make the holiday activity magical for myself, and everyone else can either join in or stay home. Amen. Yes, do it for yourself. Okay, so Tavia says the third deck is intriguing, and Samantha says that and the last one are tugging at her. No, we haven't done this one before. We have done this one before. Just hear a goose honk. Really? I don't know if that was from my house. I think that was from your house. Honk, honk. Yes, up here now there's the big V's of geese flying over. It's wonderful. Okay, let's meet the decks. Our first deck here is the pocket version of the Goddess Tarot by Chris Waldherr. And it's a deck that I forget to reach for because it's a little bitty, and I just forget to reach for it. Then we have the Chrysalis Tarot, and this was a gift for me from Silver Spiral Tarot from Catherine. So thank you and bless you. And you know what I found out tonight? So you'll see, like in the book for the deck, I have the little gift note that came with the deck. And I didn't tape it into this book because the last page wasn't blank. Usually I take and sort of tape them in. So I remember who gave them to me. And I also have it in my catalog. But I opened another gift deck book tonight and looked at the note that I had taped into the back that had gone completely blank. I don't know. All right. So next deck is the Chrysalis Tarot by Holly. The artwork is by Holly Sierra, and it's written by Tony Brooks. So thank you, Catherine, so much for that. This is a beautiful, beautiful deck. And she also sent me the book for it. Then we have the third one is the Ancient Feminine Wisdom of Goddesses and Heroines. This is by Kay Steventon and Brian Clark. It's a U.S. Games deck. It's 52 cards. And when I was working in the henna mines, as they said, we had the little shop downtown, and we were selling decks. US Games had that deck on clearance, like sale forever. And the shop owner bought a shit ton of them, and we had them forever. And I've had them, and there's not a thing wrong with the deck. It's just, you don't see it a lot. Now, this one, I sort of had a small argument with myself about the Sacred Path cards. Discovery of Self Through Native Teachings. This is by Jamie Sams, illustrations by Linda Childers. And I'm thinking, this is one of those frickin' holidays, like, Columbus Day, scratch out Indigenous Peoples Day. Thanksgiving is one of those raw nerves. So, making it a general day of gratitude with awareness of and amplification of the plight of Indigenous cultures and what's going on with them. There's a Facebook page called Idle No More that's an incredible group that you should follow to see what's happening. But I do this in honor of, and especially using a deck that is written by Native people, not an appropriated deck. So that is the Sacred Path cards. Then we have the Robin Wood, and this is my second copy that was a gift to me from Drew McKinney. And look at this. Here. I wrote his name in there, but look at the thing I have taped in. It is blank. The ink disappeared. And those are heat. That's that kind of paper that's like heat printed. So I'll know better now. And I've noticed that I don't usually grab the decks that I use to read professionally with. The Hanson Roberts, this deck, the Cosmic. I just don't pick up those decks for these lives, and I don't know why. So now I'm going to. And then the last one is Samantha the Mystic Shaman Oracle. And this is illustrated by Gina Della Grataglia. And it's Alberto Villaldo, Colette Barron-Reed, and Marcela Lobos. So that's that one. So those are people from Native cultures, Villaldo and Lobos from Central and South America. So Beck, you're here. I had a flash you were going to be here just a little while ago. Okay. Oh, you did. Tavia met Alberto in Utah to workshop. You did. Wow, cool. Lucky you. Welcome back. I'm so glad to see you here, my love. Wow, it's so funny. The stream there's a really long buffer between what I say and when it appears over here. So it helps if you, as I'm doing readings and you make comments on, a specific thing I said, if you can. It helps if you mention what it was that I said, because if you just say, oh, I agree, blah, 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 I am already not going to remember what it was I said. So if you would, I'd appreciate it. Okay. Tonight we're using the original Tiny Red Die, the original one. Yay! Because it looks great against the green here. And I ironed and pressed and pressed and ironed. Oh, well. Okay. All right. Well, we will see. So, astrology dice. And one other thing I'm noticing is even when I'm sitting down and doing like a couple of personal readings, just grab a deck, do a personal layout, with tarot, several decks, same cards every time, and then I go on and watch readers that are reading for the collective, and everybody's getting the same cards. So I do believe that, the universe here there's this information coming out, and it is coming through everybody that's got an antenna out. So open up a window. All right, we have Jupiter. Ooh, Jupiter in Pisces. That just changed itself, right? That was the 11th house. Okay, wait. I'm going to have to look and see. Okay, I'm going to see when I drop the dice over here if it was 11 or 12. God, there's a long buffer. Ugh. Anyhow, is my fourth. Oh, I want to mention that. No, it is not. This is one of my immune system issues. I have several viruses that I carry with me that are mine for keeps. And one of them is embedded in this finger. It's shingles virus, basically. And when my immune system tanks, this finger blows up. So I have to keep things covered. But it's recovering. All right, come on, Luna, throw the dice. Oy. Boy, she do go on, don't she? Anyway, let's get started here. Jupiter in Pisces is Jupiter was the original ruler of Pisces, so he's very much at home there. And Jupiter, expansion, generosity. Jupiter is gratitude, and Pisces is spirituality. Okay, wait. I got to go back just a hair. Oh my God. So gratitude and boundaryless. Pisces is boundaryless. So gratitude and generosity that are boundaryless. Oh my God, I'm still waiting for me to throw the dice here because I backed up too far. So we're talking about deep spirituality here. And Jupiter goes beyond, yes, 11. All right, now I know. So Jupiter goes beyond boundaries. And Pisces is not about religion, it's about spirituality. It is the vibe. Pisces is what that vibe is. It's the thing that we feel. It's the intangible. 11th house is our chosen family. It's also our goals and, but our friends, the ones that it's our tribe, right? The people that we attract to us, the people that we love. It's the house of Aquarius. So when it talks about goals and hopes and things, it talks about, the future that we're projecting out there, what we would like to see for ourselves and our friends. And in, day after Thanksgiving, it's wonderful to see Jupiter in Pisces as a call to send out that vibe of gratitude, of generosity, of peace, of negotiations, diplomacy between governments. Jupiter is that negotiating process, listening, talking, negotiating, back and forth, compromise. I give, you give. We find common ground with the people that are our tribe in a most spiritual and boundaryless way. It can also talk about going way overboard over the holidays with your friends and drinking way too much, indulging a lot in food, alcohol, escapism, that kind of stuff too. But let's look at it the other way, shall we? Let's look at it as just a big giveaway of gratitude and generosity to all of our friends, all of our tribe, which is everything on this planet. Okay, now, the daily way to die. Yes, it is recovering. Okay, Tavia says, Pisces is also the things that bind us. Incarceration or addiction, that's right. Anything that wraps us up, that keeps us bound, which is why we need to escape, right? So that feeling of being bound. No boundaries, alcohol and drugs, remove them, absolutely. That's the lowest octave. A warning not to escape. So right, the low octave is going overboard into escapism and just, no boundaries in a negative way. But we're going to talk about no boundaries in a positive way here. That, that's the vibe we want to put out. But there is that warning, Okay. Maruda says, I'm a Sagittarius, Jupiter in Libra, Pisces, North Node, Cancer Moon, Black Moon in my 11th house. Higher octave. Love your friends big. Yes. Be generous. Be generous. Okay, let's get going. Oh, time to die. Number 1. Little itty bitty deck. Now, shuffling is interesting because I just have to keep this finger out of the mix. And this is one of those decks that is pretty much impossible to shuffle because it's so short and fat. Anyway, I shuffled them a lot last night. And we'll split and take. Okay. knocked and kissed but when I put them all out, but Okay. They say stop. They say take one off the top. Ooh. How did that get upside down? 10 of Cups. That got upside down because some of them are upside down, apparently. Holy crap, I did not know that. And we have the Fool, which is Tara. And then we have the 5 of Staves, and I'm turning them right right side up, because they all came reversed. Okay, so we've got the Fool in the beginning. And we've got the 10 of Cups, though it came out reversed first, And 10 of Cups really talks about that sense of fulfillment. And reversed says we're not fulfilled. So here's the lower octave of that Jupiter in Pisces, is when we don't have that spiritual touchstone inside, when we don't have that sense of inner reference and inner connection, when we don't feel the gods internally. Then we feel like an empty vessel in a negative way, and we look to fill that up with things that aren't good for us, So, to turn that over and really look at how we can fill ourselves with the things that matter, with spirituality, how we can do our work and get all the, the trauma on the road to healing. And then we start to feel fulfilled. I know I've told the story before about how until I was in my 30s, early 30s, I would have these terrible bouts of just bottomless depression. But how it manifested was homesickness. The only feeling I could identify it with as a small child was homesickness. But I remember this like as early as first grade. And then as I became older, I would start, literally in high school, it would hit me and I would start making lists of who am I missing? Who am I missing? Who would make this go away? And everybody from, relatives to rock stars, and nobody. But what I was experiencing was my, abandonment at birth, because my mother, they knocked her out. I didn't breathe. So they knocked her out and stuck me in an isolette. So I didn't have that bonding with her for 8 hours. And there was that hole, and it was just unfillable until I connected the dots and had that healing experience. And I've never felt that feeling since. So we have to find out what's making us feel empty. Where have we been abandoned? Where have we abandoned ourselves? Where is the trauma sitting that is begging for us to pay attention to it and do the grief work and the healing work so that we can then, plug that hole? Until you do, anything you pour into that vessel is just going to pour right back out again. So you can be in the most loving relationship, but if you're carrying around this I'm not worthy abandonment trauma, no matter how much love they give to you, it's just going to go down and out the hole until you do the healing work. Tara here, I'm so glad Tara showed up. She is the Fool here. And Tara, there's a lot of cultural stories that Tara and is the source of the tarot, being that the goddess Tara comes from Hindu and through Buddhism. She has a base emanation, which is green Tara, and then she has 21 rainbow emanations. Sound familiar? So here's the Fool Tara. She is wisdom, compassion, and power. Those are her 3 attributes. She is there immediately. She removes all fear, and she gives you everything that you need. So wisdom, compassion, power. She's saying time to get busy. We get busy on ourselves, and then we start to work with each other. The 5 of Staves here talks about working with others, that push-pull competition, my trauma's worse than your trauma kind of stuff. Or just, once we start doing our work and other people are doing theirs, then we can really start working towards global peace. We have people that are so deeply traumatized, they're nothing but big fat balls of rage and greed, because they are bottomless pits. They have trauma. Everything that you throw in that vessel goes out the bottom. And so this is why we end up with these authoritarian figures, because nothing can be enough to fill them until the trauma is dealt with. But when we do, as we all deal with our own healing process, this is when we can begin the negotiations, because we're not showing up with our trauma sticking out in lumps. You know, we are there to listen. When we're traumatized, we're just out to be heard. But when we are on our healing path, we can also learn to listen. That one came off the top. Okay, and then there's the 10 of staves. I said I was going to split and pull, but we do what we do. Here's the 10 of staves. Okay, I'm taking it off the top again. And then we have, oh, how interesting. We have 10 of staves here, and then we have the Tower. And the Tower is the Wawalak, and it's called oppression. 10 of staves and oppression. All right, no, I'm going to split. And then we have another upside down, and that's the 7 of cups. I'm going to leave that one reversed and see where we go. I want to look up the Wawalak. Okay. During the dream time, the Australian Aboriginal sister goddesses, the Wawalak, were swallowed whole by Yurlungur, the great rainbow serpent. Oppressed by darkness in the belly of the serpent, the Wawalak wept until they were reborn from Yurlungur back into the light. Feeling overwhelmed, oppressed by circumstances or emotions, like the Wawalak, the light has left your life. You are waiting to be released from the darkness. Okay. So we are under, I was talking about the pandemic years. Even if we've worked really hard on our core trauma and our original wounds, I was going to say original sin, but it's like the original sins committed against us. Even when we're well on the way, we still have to deal with our collective trauma in real time. And that's what we're under right now, is this collective, this oppression. Argentina, I was hoping Marcy and Tana might show up tonight, because they just had their own little Donald Trump come into power there. And it just flew out of my head. Where was it that another one was just elected? In Northern Europe somewhere. Was it Finland? I don't remember. But I'm seeing elections where authoritarians are stepping up. Now, we had ours, and we're still not out of trouble. We're still under this oppression. We're in the belly of that serpent. So they wept until they were reborn. All right. So one of the things that you can do when you know magic and when you are suffering personally is you look at things in levels. And when you have something happen that causes you to weep, you can become aware of, first of all, truly what you're weeping about in your own life, in your own healing process. But you can then say, while I'm at it, as long as I'm at it, I am shedding these tears. I am Kuan Yin, hearing the cries of the world and pouring from my heart of compassion out to those suffering beings. 7 of Cups reversed is like a turning over of illusions. We're coming out of this sense of, illusion and delusion. And that's what needs to happen, is we need to see things for what they really are. It can also be the lower octave here of Jupiter and Pisces is allowing just that overindulgence, the escapism, to grow and take you over. But we can look at this as a call to turn around any of our illusions and delusions. We have to let them go now. Ooh, and we've got reverses again. 7 of Pentacles, how interesting. And 5 of Cups. Okay, 7 of Pentacles. When I was looking at my Robin Wood and giving it a shuffle pre, and I cut it to see what it was, and it was the Seven of Pentacles reversed. So we're already getting repeats. Seven of Pentacles reversed is like, are we reviewing? You know, what if we harvested? Are we reviewing and seeing it's just not fitting the bill? Or, you know, that what we are harvesting is not what we intended to plant. I'm going to go see what he says here for the reverse. Impatience, insecurity about whether the reward received was worth it. Okay, so there's a values check there. And then we've got Five of Cups, which is loss, deep, profound loss. So coming under the Wawalak here, this is where we are, and we all know it. We are feeling losses. We're feeling the stress. We have got to be diligent in whatever we can do for ourselves to keep a spirit of generosity and gratitude moving in whatever way we can. I want one more. I'm going to split. And we have the Two of Cups. Cups, 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 cups. Two of Cups. If you can't get there yourself, ask a friend. Ask a friend. But we are being called, you know, by the one voice out of the many to really be in our active healing process, to call on our own resilience, to know where that comes from. And that comes from that deep spiritual connection, that personal connection. Because we're needed. Healers and light workers, we're really needed. We have... Okay. Tavia says, fill ourselves with things that matter. Mm-hmm. Did I say that? That's good. Right. With the things that matter, the things that nourish our soul and our spirit. Okay, counting coup. Ho, ho, ho. Victory. Power place, earth connection, empowerment, and then we have fire medicine, passion and spontaneity. And I'm missing my Darcy right now. Boo. All right, I'm going to lay them all out. Cradle board. Shawl. Decisions. Wow, okay. So counting coup is victory. And you know, there are stories, I think it's from the Plains tribes, which is where the cultures that this deck comes from, Lakota, where it was much more impressive, let's say, rather than like shooting an arrow and killing an enemy, to ride up to them and touch them and ride away alive was like, that was a much more impressive thing to do. So I'm going to look this up because I want the words from this culture and not mine. The little verse is to know that I have honored my words with my deeds. I have honored my words with my deeds. Sweet victory is shared by all in filling others' needs. Sweet victory is shared by all in filling others' needs. Jupiter in Pisces, sharing generosity. Humankind rejoices, the prize of counting coup, harmony and balance, a peaceful world anew. Wow, if that doesn't address it all, right? The act of counting coup signifies a victory over an enemy or an accepted challenge. The warrior clans of Native America used many methods of stealth, guile, surprise, planning, and physical strength to claim prizes from their opponents. The traditional prizes taken on raids were horses, eagle feathers, medicine bundles, medicine shields, tomahawks, bows, and other weapons. Scalps were not honorable prizes of counting coup before the boat people came to Turtle Island. The Europeans started that. Trappers and traders sold scalps to European curiosity seekers, saying that the savages in the New World cut each other's scalp off, when in fact the practice of scalping was started by those who sought money from the wealthy in Europe. Okay, that's all we need to know about that. The war cry has been shouted and victory is assured. If you've received the counting coup card, you're being put on notice that a personal victory is in the works. You may have overcome a long-time challenge or conquered an opponent. Now is the time to share your victory with others. Okay? Hold on. This keeps rolling away from the 11th house. And it was just telling me just then about asking friends for help too if you do have problems knowing where the boundaries are when it comes to indulgence and you hurt yourself that way. If you have that kind of addictive issue going on, to ask for a friend. That's 11th house. Anyway, onward. Power place, earth connection, empowerment. So when we do our grounding, it's that reminder. And I know sometimes I kind of whip through it quick, but you need to be reminded how fast you can make these things happen. And, it's up to you every day to do these things again and again, so it's there when you need it. But power place is on this earth. We are in power in a body here. And we need to know what that connection means to us and be very clear about the fact that we borrow all of this. It goes back to Mother Earth. It is not the eternal. It's not who we are. It's the clothes we wear. And understanding that is powerful. And then we have fire medicine of passion and spontaneity. So what I'm seeing here is really, even literally drumming up that energy, earth energy, the energy of victory. And here's something I know to be true. When you do your healing work, okay, I'm going to say this carefully. I was going to say you become defenseless, but the thing is, you unbecome defensive because you don't have those sore spots sticking out. And so doing your healing work is claiming a victory every time somebody in the future, as you go along, when you're really traumatized and you're unhealed, you have all these triggers. And it's very easy to get triggered. Somebody says something and suddenly you're responding to the trauma from your childhood rather than the situation that's happening. When you heal that, you become able to respond, which this right here says ability to respond, cradle board. You become able to respond rather than react. You stay grounded in yourself. And from that power place, we can drum up our passion and our spontaneity to be able to respond to the current. Then we have shawl here, which is returning home. Okay, I want to read the verses. All right. Power place says, finding earth connection in the place that speaks to me, sandy beach or mountain, forest filled with trees, high desert or windswept prairie, I will know it well. It will make my heart sing of the river and the dell. So it really is just about that connection, finding that place. It says you're seeking a way to become a catalyzer of certain life events if you've chosen the power place card. So becoming a catalyzer, being a lightning rod, being that voice crying in the wilderness, being a speaker of truth, being a generator of healing energy for all. Tara, for all, Okay, fire. Fire medicine, sacred fire within us, place of eternal flame. Burn away the barriers in great mystery's name. Teach us, look at that, burn away the barriers. Not the boundaries. Boundaries can be healthy, but the barriers. Teach us warmth and goodness, the love of grandfather's son, melting every difference until we are truly one. Melting those external boundaries until we feel the oneness that we share. Now, cradle board. Oops. Cradle board of creation, protect this child from harm. Child of all tomorrows, sleep safely in my arms. Until the time you will wake, then you will be able to respond in kind to humanity. So we drum up all this energy. We want to We want to be healed so we can live life in the now, not in the past. Pisces is the ultimate past reference. We want to live it in the now, the way things actually are happening, not according to the tape that's playing in our head. All right. Shawl is returning home. Earth Mother welcomes her children home when they have lost their way. The trail was lonely and so long, she whispers for them to stay. Within the protection of the shawl where love abides again, their hearts may open to recall all relations as their friends. Same message coming out over and over and over again, because the First Nations understand this and know this. It's part of their religion, you know? But when you have a religion of chosen ones, the in crowd, the out crowd, there comes great harm. Okay, so the ability to respond, the ability to feel at home, you know, on the earth, your place on the earth, your place within humanity. Then we have council fire at the very end, which says decisions. That's interesting. Elders gathered, the fire of wisdom's light, words, decisions, conclusions, all through the night. So we have decisions to make as humanity. And, you know, already the bullshit of the election in this country is starting for next year. And I will tell you this, don't listen to polls. Forget polls. They are so skewed and inaccurate. Do not listen to them. Get active within yourself. Make your decisions. Get active with other people. Help other people be strong in their decisions. Help other people to find a place to like more to, you know, if they're feeling kind of loose in their family, if they're the only one that knows what's up and, you know, they're feeling pulled, you can be there to maybe pull them in a different direction. But we do have decisions to make. But it all starts with our own healing, you guys. It all starts with our own healing. And you don't have to wait till it's all done. Whatever you get healed, pass it on. You know, whatever little shred of healing that you claim as a victory, pass it on. Tell people how you got there. Okay, now let me go. I see the messages going by. Okay. Into the groves they come, answering the call of the primal drum. Yep. Tavia says, I just read somewhere that your triggers turn you into a gun. Oh, that's excellent. Oh, that's really excellent, Tavia. And so very true. And, you know, when you're defensive, you're on the attack all the time. You know, best defense is a good offense, right? Passing the pipe. Aho, Maruda. I will after. Samantha says, understood that people that post trigger warnings, that's what they're trying to do to you. Well, I don't see it that way. People that post trigger warnings are saying, if this triggers you, don't read this. You know, I appreciate those, because there have been times when I'm, reading somebody something and you get partway through and all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, what am I reading? And then you have to back yourself out. So I do appreciate trigger warnings. I do see those as a symptom of compassion and sensitivity. Now, there are people that use those triggers. They want to know your triggers so they can use them. And, yeah, you have to beware. Okay. Oh, Into the Groves. Yes, wonderful poem, Samantha. Yay. All righty. Who's up next? Number 2. The Chrysalis. All right. I'm going to do this. I forget who I've done and who I haven't. All right. Yeah, that's true. But that's not them doing it to you, Samantha. That's you doing it to yourself. If you see a trigger warning and go right for it, that's your fault. Uh-huh. Some people are a glutton for punishment. Some people are out looking to get triggered. So, and that's one of the ills that we have on this planet is, like I said, we've got severely traumatized balls of rage wandering around. But the thing is, victimhood is their identity. And so anything that you do, they'll lure you in. Trigger warning if you say, oh my gosh, that's awful. They're looking for prey. So it's kind of hard to shuffle with my finger sticking out like that, so I won't anymore. You roll your eyes and wait for someone to roll them back to you. That's funny. No, trigger warnings really are about, for instance, there are several animal groups that I belong to. This Cat is Void is one of them. Weirdo Cat Lovers of Cleveland is another one. What an excellent group of rescuers and supporters there. And people will say, TW, pet death. And, so if you just lost a pet and you don't want to read about that, pass on by. So, trigger warning, domestic violence. There's those, we're learning how to communicate with each other online, and I see the warnings as that. And, people are absolutely free. You want to get traumatized, you see a trigger warning, go for it. That is your prerogative. You are absolutely free to do it. Just don't then claim victimhood, right? Okay. Here we go. We have 9 of Scrolls. Okay, so the scrolls are swords, stones are pentacles, stones, and stones. Okay. We have 1 scrolls, we have 4 stones, and then the Knight of Spirals, which is, I think it's mirrors is water, spirals are fire. Stones, scrolls. Just looking. All right. So, stones. A lot of earth stuff coming at us tonight. So the 9 of Scrolls is, the weeping angel in the graveyard here. 9 of Swords. Anxiety. The stuff that comes get you in the middle of the night. We've got to temper it for ourselves, you guys. We really do. We have to temper our intake so that we can be there. The trauma in Gaza is, I don't know how to describe it. And so, trigger warning. You are aware of the problem. You do what you can, what is in your power, whether that is amplifying messages coming across your Facebook, putting out your opinions of writing to your politicians, please support the people of Gaza. Please, there must be a ceasefire. None of this pussyfooting around Netanyahu, all that kind of stuff. Do what you can. Sending donations. Whatever you can do, do that thing. But there's a big fat trigger warning on all of life right now. So you have to be always aware of your intake and the effect it's having on you. Then we have 4 of Stones here of having everything locked up. And then we've got Ace of Stones. Then we have 3 of Stones. All right, let's see here. So we can, what I'm seeing here is, that signal of, whoops, I've taken in a little too much, and you start feeling it, and then we can kind of lock it in, lock it into the body. So when we're feeling the anxiety, the stress, we have to let it flow. All right, hold on a second. Go into the book when I find myself head scratching. And this is just an amazing deck. So the key word here is despair. You're struggling with overblown fears. Truthfully, they're not overblown. Think about what we've been through in the last, almost decade. The fears are not overblown. We have that's why we are where we are, is because the fears are very, very real on so many levels. Okay, let's look at the 4 of Stones and what they say there. the courts are very interesting in this. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a little lost here. Four of Stones, possessions. Ace of Stones, abundance. All right. So we can get very upset over our possessions and whether we have enough, whether it's abundant. So here, okay, here's another holiday issue. Here it comes, Oh no, money and Christmas. Let's go back to that spirit thing. What stands out to me is the year when I think my son was still in high school. Yes, he was. My daughter was just out of high school when I lost my job, and things got kind of seriously tight for very quickly. And I sat them down and said, there's not a lot, for Christmas this year, 4 things each. I was very careful about the things that, one of them was a game that they could play together. And, there were some videos and just some other things. And I mean, there wasn't a ripple of or disappointment or anything. It was the immediate response was, that's okay, Mom, we understand. And I don't know that I've ever been so proud in my life. That was a moment where I knew I'd done something right, because Christmas being a big production through the years, I, always thought, oh my gosh, have I overdone it? Have I done something wrong? But I didn't. I didn't. And so I invite you now to really maybe have those talks with your possibly not super young children, if you're having those times of what matters, what's worth your time, so we can begin again. And it's not just about how much stuff we have. Then we've got 3 of Stones, much more dynamic. 4 is an even number. Even numbers are static. The odd numbers are dynamic. 3 of Stones is planning. So we plan, and then we've got the Knight of Spirals, so the Knight of Wands, who's just like, let's get it going. Let's make a new plan. So again, being able to let go of the old trappings, change it up, because you still have the spirit there. And that spirit comes from the collaboration, the shared energies. Let's get together and talk about this. What matters to you? What do you really need to see? What would make it feel the best to you? And then you negotiate with each other. And then we have 7 of Stones at the bottom. 7 of Pentacles, third time so far tonight. Regret. So in this deck, it is regret. Looking back on what's happened and feeling the regret. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to go this way. Looking back at past regrets is a great way to plan for the future. Okay, that didn't work out right, but asking why it didn't work out right. What can we do to make it better so we avoid those feelings of regret? How do we start anew with what we have, opening that chest to share things, to pull it all out? All the shit you've been saving for the best occasions, pull it out now. Indulge yourself. Use the company towels. Treat yourselves like the guests and the company. Don't hang on to things until you have the regret of, oh my God, we should have used that when we had the time. We should have enjoyed it when we were all together, right? So regrets can drive us. The Page of Spirals and the 2 of Stones. Look at all the stones. Okay, you guys, this is clearly about the physical. And look at the Page of Spirals here, the Jester. This is how you come along and make holiday. If you wait for the external spirit to come and hit you, you could be waiting forever. You really have to learn how to make holiday. Let's make holiday. We buy some things, even if it's cheap things, and we have a ritual that we do. We get together, we toast our glasses with just water, but it's a toast. Let's pretend. To be a witch and to be a maker of magic, you have to know how to pretend. And if you're not feeling it externally, let's pretend it's there. And I bet you that it will show up. choosing your footsteps through, choosing what to spend the money on, making sure it goes to the things that really matter. But that also requires communication. But my God, everything but one not court card there was a pentacle. Okay. I am looking for, there we go, Wheel of Fortune, because this too shall pass. I was looking for a major. The Wheel of Fortune is the major. The wheel is turning, and we don't know where things are going to end. Karma is always, 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 always in action. Always. So, the wheel is turning. Let's be conscious while we're on it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have 3, 5, and 6 to go here. 3. Right. Okay. Oh, let me go back here. The artwork in the chrysalis, yes. I mean, the backs of the cards are just stunning. They are. They're gorgeous. That one was hollering my name last night. Willow Owl says, I made a commitment to myself that I would be happy and stay on my spiritual and personal growth path. I am no longer easily triggered by the idiots around me. Good for you. Glory, hallelujah. Maruda says it's the same as parental warning labels, only for emotional wounds. Yes, that's exactly it. It allows us to make decisions. It allows us to make our choices, right? It allows us to choose what comes our way. And that is a good thing. All right. Spiral. Hello, darling. Abrazo. Is that hugs? Jessica says, yes, Willow Owl, I'm working on the same. Absolutely. Tavia says, we've been conditioned to black and white thinking. Absolutely. You're in or you're out. Gaza's situation is not so all nothing. Absolutely not. Taking sides is not happening for most, just horror and compassion. Extremists are loud. Yes, I agree wholeheartedly, Tavia. It's not a black and white thing. What's black and white to me is there's the people calling the shots, and there's everybody else, all the innocent bystanders. I read a thing, I can't remember who it was, Margaret Atwood maybe, saying everybody in a war is an innocent bystander, or 99% of the people involved in a war are innocent bystanders. So the ones that aren't, that's one side. The other side is all the innocent people. Okay, we have Medea, magic. We have Gaia, abundance. We have Iphigenia, sacrifice. This is probably why I don't grab this deck, is because I'm not really well versed in Greek mythology, and this is what it is, and they're great. Then we have Pythia, prophecy, and Artemis, nature. And Eos, dawn. Oh my gosh. So Pythia, I go, ugh, because that was the name of the priestess that hosted my initiation, my level 1 initiation. There are many stories there that I'll never tell. Anyway, so we have magic, abundance, sacrifice. Okay. There is a line in The Charge of the Goddess that says, nor do I demand aught of sacrifice. Wait, what is it? Let there be beauty and strength, honor and humility. It's beauty and strength, honor and humility. Mirth and reverence. I think there's another one within you. And, nor do I demand aught of sacrifice, for all acts of love and pleasure are my rituals. So I argue slightly with that. It says I don't demand sacrifice. What they're talking about is like animal sacrifice. I got to sacrifice things to the gods. But let's look at that word a different way, because all magic requires sacrifice. It does. Anything worth having requires giving of something. Now, what's the difference between giving something and sacrificing? Sacrifice has no expectation of return. Sacrifice is here. This is yours just 'cause I give this to you. I offer this to you and I expect nothing in return. So there is this place that you put yourself in when you do magic of, I'm putting this out to the universe. And then you put yourself in this place of perfect trust, which means I'm not expecting, I'm just letting it go and trusting, you know? But if you are also not willing to work for the thing that you're working for magically, work for it physically, mentally, everything else, you're not going to get there. You know, there's so much that we put in. Think about, a skill that you obtain, or a degree, or something that takes a lot of time and effort. Most of that is sacrificial. You put so much time in, and then by the time you get something out, it's like, wow, all of that time resulted in this. But the sacrifice is just continuing to do it, whether, without seeing the result right away. It's that willingness to just give, regardless of whether I get back. It's not like, okay, I won't give this to you until you give that, that kind of, you got to give me before I give you kind of thing. Sacrifice is the willingness to do whatever it takes, and before you know whether the payoff will be there. All right. So Gaia in the middle here. Looky, there's Mother Earth in the middle. Hey, do we have a theme tonight? The abundance of Gaia. Magic is knowing that abundance for a fact and just saying, I'm going to turn it this way. This abundance is mine. Here's how I want to shape it, right? And here's what I'm willing to give in order to have this in my life. Then we have prophecy and nature. Okay. Let's read. Prophecy and nature. Nature is showing us the turmoil. There are parallels. We're not separate. The turmoil that's going on interpersonally between humans, there's that turmoil on Earth as well. They reflect each other. Okay, this is a book that's hard to look things up in because the goddesses are grouped and you just have to hunt. All right, I'm looking for Pythia. Where are you, Pythia? Where are you, Pythia? All right. She's under the power of the heroine. We have the first goddesses, Olympian goddesses, chthonic goddesses, guardian goddesses, the heroine's journey, lovers and partners, the power of the heroine, and virtues of the heroine. So Pythia is powers of the heroine. Okay. Divination ascertains the will of the goddess and directs the individual to act in accordance with that will. Knowing the self means being attuned to the deeper feelings of the unconscious. So we again have that knowing of the full self. And when you are, doing your healing journey, you have access to everything in here. When we're unhealed, we lose access to places because we wall off that trauma, And when you have full access, then you can just say, oh, this is the way this is going, And by tuning in with nature, looking at what's happening with the weather, the clouds, the trees, part of our magic is seeing which way the wind blows, right? And then down at the bottom, we have dawn, which, again, I'm going back to that Fool card that was in the first deck, because there are beginnings. As we're going through this painful ending of Pluto in Capricorn, new things are beginning, but boy, we are so not out of the woods yet. Dawn marks a transitional phase. Eos prepares us for a new life experience. All right. So this just talks about our magic and the abundance of the earth and being witches. We tap into that on a physical level. We make our offerings. We do our magic. We get glimpses of the way things are headed from nature. We are part of nature. And all of this wraps into the new beginning. All of this activity can help direct where the new beginning comes from. Okay, let's see. Make every day a holy day. Yes. We have, remember the old saying, yes, what if they gave a war and nobody came? I love that. Hi, Ink and Flame. That's okay. I'm glad you're here now, too. Part of that quote is in Beck's work email signature. Yeah. Which is let there be beauty. There we go. Thank you. Beauty and strength, power and compassion, honor and humility, mirth and reverence. It was the power and compassion. I have such a hard time memorizing those, like BS, PC, HH. Oh my goodness. Thank you, dear. All right. Yes, please. Please lovingly tap that like, oh, I haven't even looked to say how many are here. 17 of us. Yay. I'm so glad you're all here. And, you know, if you're not subscribed and you want to jump in the chat, you only have to be subscribed for a minute in order to participate in chat. Okay, 5 and 6 are the last ones. That's a 4. That's another 4. That's a 1. 5 or 6. 6. Thank you. Okay. Yes, I still have shoulder problems. They still go out of joint. So here we go, Mystic Shaman. Let's get centered now, see what it has to tell us. What do we need to know? I'm glad Robin Wood is coming up next because I think it can ask a specific question there. Nope, there's one sliding off the top. 2 sliding off the top. The staff, the beauty way. Fire. Okay, remember that fire medicine on that side? And now I'm going to split and pull because they just told me to. Ghost dance. Completion. The council. Okay. So we start out with the staff. I look at the staff as something to lean on. You know, there's a staff and there's an arrow. And the staff is something that, you know, can hold me up, that gives me support on my journey. Something I can lean on. It's also something that I can, you know, create some space between me and another. It can create a boundary. And I'm going here. Again, apologies to this deck. I have to apologize to most of my decks because I go, boy, I never reach for this one. That's the case with most of my 430 some decks. All right. The staff is the symbol of authority. It holds the power to temper extremes. The staff helps you find the right course of action, the way of the middle, and aids you to maintain your balance after you begin walking in that direction. Yes, something to steady you. Moses carried a serpent staff through the desert, and with it he could summon the power of nature to heal or call plagues. The staff reminds you of the impermanence of all things, and that your authority must come from your deep longing to serve. Sacrifice. Yes. So, and what is the way? The power to temper extremes and find the right course of action. The course of action is the beauty way. How do we want to live our lives? Do we want to open our mouths and put more anger, more snark into the world, or do we want to put beauty into the world when we speak? Do we want to, I've come a long road this way, you guys. I had, you know, grew up and internalized my mother's tone of voice, which was angry. You know, both of my parents were very, very angry people. And until a couple of years ago, I was a very angry person, you know, not really knowing how much anger I still carried. But being able to hear what comes out of your mouth. And when somebody asks you something, instead of like reacting in a defensive way, assuming that it's not personal and being able to respond. That's one of the biggest healing chunks there is when you finally, somebody can, you know, react to something you say and you say, oh, no, I didn't mean it that way. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. you heard it that way. Instead of they reacted, I'm going to react back to you. That's that fire, you know? So it's sort of like authority over that fire that comes flying up when you get triggered. And choosing the beauty way. What did it say? The middle way. The middle way. Let's read about the beauty way. The beauty way is both a path that you travel on and a daily practice. The path is where you choose to perceive only beauty before you, behind you, and all around you as you journey through life. The practice is where you take action to bring beauty, there's the fire too, to every situation you're in. When things get ugly, you act to bring integrity and peace to the difficult encounter. Yes. And it starts with tone of voice, softness, soft here, breathing, soft, soft, soft. And if you can't, just say, give me a minute, When everyone else perceives only darkness, you point out the light, the fire, and help uncover the hidden treasures. And, it's not about being passive. It's not about being a limp dish rag. Fire, staff, it's upright. It's strong. It's hot and passionate and bright and still beautiful and peaceful. We can sometimes think that peace means, I don't do. It's like kind of like that. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. It doesn't mean you're just a doormat and people can do whatever they want. It is a powerful, dynamic, moving, flowing thing. All right, let's look at ghost dance. Ghost dance is of the American Plains Indians united with, the ghost dance of the American Plains Indians united the spirits of the living with those of the ancestors to bring peace to the world. When the ancestors are honored, they bring harmony to us. When we hold them responsible for all that is wrong with us today, they haunt us. Honor the spirits of the ancestors and receive their lessons and gifts. This includes honoring your own past lives. Now, ghost dance was one of those things that was outlawed. They outlawed the ghost dance because it was freaking out the wide eyes, the Washichus. It was freaking them out because they were doing this ghost dance and it was spiritually so powerful. So, what can you do? You can't outlaw what happens inside people, so you have to outlaw the external practices. There we go. You can outlaw the religion. You cannot outlaw the spirit. So the ghost dance is reclaiming that relationship with the ancestors, being fluid in it, dancing. And remember, when you honor them, they help you. When you blame them, they haunt you. I love that. Then we have completion. Such a wonderful word. All things have a beginning, middle, end. This is the nature of life, the seed, the flower, the fruit, and of all the human relationships. Completion suggests the fullness of the moment and the need to transform an old form into a new one. Through ghost dance, through communing with the ancestors, through walking the beauty way, through our passion and our authority, our controlling of that passion, our reining it in, being a fire keeper, making it burn hot and bright, but not dangerously, keeping it contained. Okay. Something being born into a new form. The new form is the beauty way. Then we have the council at the very end. The council are the luminous beings who hold the collective wisdom of humanity. They are the ones before whom you will do your life review when you cross into the world of spirit. A life review is when we place our good and our bad deeds on a divine scale and attempt to explain why we did not love or forgive or dare as greatly as we might have. And you know what? They don't ask us to explain. The council's not there saying, hey, explain yourself, you fucked up. When you pass, the council is there saying, well done, beloved. Well done and welcome home. So, no, you don't have to explain yourself. They understand what it's like to be human. It sucks. It hurts. There's so much suffering, and we do our best. And we are given credit for that best that we do, no matter how miserably we fail. Know that their wisdom is available to you at all times when you live in a state of yes. In an unconditional relationship with life, they remind you of your place around a sacred fire, which has been reserved for you since the beginning of time. You will claim it when you own your inner wisdom. Been reserved for you. You've occupied it since the beginning of time. You've occupied it, and then you come down here, and then you go back there, and you come back down here, you know? So, wow. So, yeah, the ancestors are watching, and they're saying, well done, well done, you know? When we're blaming them, they're saying, oh, it's okay, you know, you can do better. They are all love and support, you guys. They really are. That is what I truly believe. So it's time for us to stand up, to take this process that's happening internally and start to manifest it externally with the support of your entire team. Honor them, offer to them, pray to them, pray for them. All right. And then we have Robin Wood. All right, let me catch up there. 24, wow. And you know, that makes me happy. I watch people on live streams where they've got 400 people and it's like, I can't, no, I couldn't. Thank you, Ink and Flame. You know, I don't know when I started doing that. I just started doing it and I like it. Yeah, it's just kind of fluid. Things sort of channel. You can read lines this way. You can read, you know, just like that. You're welcome. And yes, working with the ancestors is amazing. And the beauty way is all. I'm glad, Samantha. I'm glad it did. All right, I am going to ask very specifically about our world right now and where we are headed. And I'm doing a 10 card with this, not a Celtic cross. I'm doing a 10 card. Oops. Look what we have. We have the Fool. All right. Well, I'm going to, no, you know, I'm going to just lay them out. Cups makes another appearance. Yeah, okay. Okay. Let's take a look. So the Fool comes falling off the deck saying it's, you know, all bets are off. Let's just see if we can begin again from a beginner's mind place of just, what if I didn't know anything about this at all? What if I suspended all my preconceived notions? What if I just forgot all that and looked at things with fresh eyes? What would I see? What would I see? And we would see a world in turmoil, that's for sure. 9 of Pentacles there says we really, really, really need to shore up our own personal boundaries and take care of our own things. We have to, oh boy, I'm getting it really loud, you guys. We cannot afford to rely on supply lines. We're not in a pandemic, and this is one of the things that is happening with all of these groups of, you know, Pacific Ring nations and the nations that are, you know, trading partners over there in the Pacific Rim and in the East. And, you know, there are so many different groups, trade groups and intelligence groupings that are happening around the world. And one of the things that they're doing is taking the lessons of the pandemic and shoring up supply lines. This is one of the big tasks of Biden's administration, is making sure that we've got supply lines originating in the US. We have things so that we're not going to go through what we went through before. And this is happening globally. People looking to shore up agreements and trade agreements and supply lines and all of that stuff. But on a personal level, too, just keep your stores stocked if you can, just because we might need them, you know? Take care of yourselves. Okay. Two of Swords. I'm going to go to the middle here. Eight of Pentacles says, what are we working on? What is our practice? What is our practice? Okay, Two of Swords here. We need to take the blindfold off and look at things for what they really are. But that adds another element of strong boundaries here and not letting things cross the intellectual boundary, the mental boundary of things that are going to upset you and just get you wound up, you know? When you're in your safe place, we keep the boundary up. No, I'm not going to let that in. So that's a very healthy Two of Swords there. If you know, you can show me this ugliness all you want. That's not where I'm going to operate from. Still need to be aware. What's our practice? What are we working on honing? Here's the Two of Cups again. That vibe. I just found out my sister's getting a Reiki attunement on Monday, and everybody that has Reiki knows this, but anyone that doesn't, if you have the opportunity, and I want to ask too for Reiki masters that I do understand if it's your business, you have to make money, but if it's a side thing, maybe can you think of, most Reiki masters I know will do like work study or something, but think about offering attunements to people that cannot pay money. Think about offering that. We need people attuned to this healing energy. We really do. That would be a wonderful service to offer. Then we got the Death card over here. These are kind of disjointed, you guys. Okay. Begin again. We start feeling like things are abundant. We have to kind of, oh wow, I just heard close the borders there. Yikes. We have negotiation. We have people coming to agreements. We have to work it out. We have to carve things into shape. We need to make structure, create. Then we have death. Big ending, loss, disappointment, disgruntlement, refusing to see what's good. We have utter downfall, loss and ruin, and the King of Pentacles. And the Emperor at the end. Okay. So let's talk about strong men. And money. Look at the Ten of Swords and the Death card around the King of Pentacles. The idea of money being the power in the world is going away. And this is another reason why we share resources, because if more people have what they need, then there's more, you know, we have a bigger group, a bigger, more powerful group that can work on things together. All right, I'm going to pick them up and lay them out again because the shuffle was weird, and you know, there certainly is a lot of death and destruction and ruin coming. The questions coming up around the fat cats with the money and the strong men. People need to make decisions. You know, that Two of Swords is also decisions. Where are we going? What are we saying yes to? Oh my God, you guys. I'm having a hard time. Okay. Let me catch up with you. Okay. Thank you, Samantha. Says, I always think of it as your lovely lyrical spiral connection, turning it into a very clear story. That's good. Ten of Pentacles. What skills and talents do we have that we could put to better use? There's Nine of Pentacles. Two of Swords. Blindfold. Don't let everything going around you distract you from focusing on all levels. That's right. But that Nine of Pentacles really is about the boundaries. Okay, here we go All right. Eight of Swords, the realization that the traps, most of the traps we're in are of our own making. And even the ones that aren't so easy to get out of, like the weather stuff, the climate stuff, still traps of our own making, largely, not entirely. There are some natural cycles here that whether we were, burning fossil fuels or not, they'd be happening at any rate. The sun, for instance. But waking up and realizing which of the circumstances we're in are traps of our own making and learning how to unmake them. And this is another card of collaboration, the Three of Pentacles, building something new. Building something new and satisfying for everyone. Look at the Page of Wands, holding up this passion and drive to justice, illuminating justice. And then we've got that Five of Wands again. Competing, working, but it's not fighting, it's working it out. Working it out. You're going to do that move, I'm going to do this move. But then we also need to, stop that kind of competitive win-lose mindset paradigm. If we can only remove our egos from it, then we can take the win-lose away. Until we get rid of the win-lose, it's all lose, But I love this illuminating justice. The young people now, the kids that are my kids' age, my daughter's 30, my son's turning 25, they are active. They are educated. They're intelligent. It blows me away. You think about all these kids on their phones all the time. Yeah, these kids. I mentioned something political. My daughter has read all about it. She's heard about it. She's listened to things. She's discussed it. She knows. And it's like, yeah, they're not on their phones. Yes, it's escapism. Yes, it's an ADHD thing. It's a dopamine hit. But it's also the way they take in what's going on in our world. And it's all out there. It's all out there. The issues, people talking about them, people shining a spotlight. So their generation is shining this light on what justice really is. It's not win-lose. It's not win-lose. It's a cup that is full for all of us. It's people collaborating on creation. And yes, there's some back and forth. There's the Ten of Pentacles, Samantha. But the back and forth is within the family. Well, I don't like this. What do you think? Okay, well, so what would you win? All right, well, how can we make it win-win? How can we both have what we want? But then we have the moon coming up here because there's so much that we just don't know. There's so much behind the scenes. There's so much subversive, subterfuge, sub stuff, subterranean rivers flowing, right? But that is also that well of wisdom that we tap into. That is the well of collective intelligence, collective wisdom. There's the well. So it's funny because that 10-card spread, I guess I can't do that anymore. I've been doing this one enough that it really does make a difference, but I want one more. Looky who she is. The High Priestess. They said, yeah, one more. Let's see who's on the bottom. Okay, same one from the last reading, but High Priestess comes in the middle. Remember who you are. Thanks, Mufasa. Remember who you are, priestess. Priestess. Remember your magic. Remember your power. Fire medicine. There's been all this fire and passion and power here. And the High Priestess coming up at the end here just says, and who is the High Priestess? She is the one that has the personal relationship with the divine. She's the one that goes in here and has a chat with Goddess. She's the one that says, when I do my devotions and I do my prayers, it really counts because I am devoted to Spirit. And when I pray, it is potent. And when we pray, it is way more potent. It magnifies exponentially. But you have to remember that you are in service. It's not, the ordained, the initiated, the whatever, the priests and priestesses, and I go to them and they do the thing. No, no, no. This rests with you. The responsibility for your relationship with spirit rests with you. Whether we're talking ancestors or deities, those that have never been in a body, it's up to you to create the relationship. They're there. They're sitting there. They're doing the crossword in ink, They're just waiting. God, I wish she'd say something. I wish she'd ask. If she'd only ask, So you go to them with your devotion and then say, please, I accept your help. And, I'm also reminded of the time when I was begging and begging and begging for help because my daughter and I, was left a single parent trying to find a place to move to. And all I had was child support and nobody wanted us. And I'm like, that I was begging and begging and begging the goddess for help and hearing crickets. I'm like, what am I going to do? So I finally went out and said, okay, I made an offering and said, all I ask now is for the strength to do this on my own. And as soon as I stood up and took that responsibility, they came rushing in again. They were there the whole time, but I had gone blind to them because I was like, you have to do this instead of being goddess. I forgot I was goddess for a little while there. So you got to remember who you are. That's for damn sure. So Samantha, you knew that 10 of Pentacles was coming. That's great. Ink and Flame says, I have young kids too, 28 to 15. They're fired up. Yeah. We can encourage. Please, let's not try to drag them back into our paradigms. Well, you guys don't understand. You don't understand what we did in the 60s and 70s. You're not doing it the way we did it. They're not gonna. Leave them be. Support them. Feed their fire. Show them the way. Give them the benefit of your experience, but don't become a stone around the neck of their passion and their enthusiasm. Trust them, honor them. They're smart. They know more than we do. We know more than they do on a whole lot of fronts, but they know more than we do about the spirit, what's happening now. They just, please be humble enough to learn from your children. Okay, young people, not young kids. It's okay, Ink and Flame, I understand. Out into the light of day, that's right. They're doing the crossword. Yeah, you got to do something with their time, right? Wow, you guys. All right, 1:59:09. There we are. So. I mean, we keep moving along. It's interesting to me, that I feel these lives now, it's not like one-offs. There's definitely an unfolding story that continues each week. And if you do watch other readers, like Ellie Dreams Down Under, she's from Australia, and Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot and Astrology and Spirituality, she's from Australia too. If you watch theirs, don't be surprised if you see like the same cards coming out on all the readers that you're watching, because we're all tapped into the same thing. Okay, let's see here. Let me come down in the middle again, and then we will close up our wonderful little circle here. Whoa. Trying to get things centered. Okay. All right, Ink and Flame says, I get frustrated with my kids, but Spirit keeps telling me to bite my tongue and support them. Yes, they have to learn, Telling them what is like, yeah, okay. But those lessons don't stick until you learn them from yourself through pain, pain and suffering. So you can say, yeah, wow, that, this is what happened to me. But then let them be. Let them do their thing. Thank you, Willow Owl. Oh, my goodness. I love that. Thank you from the top and to the bottom of each deck. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, everybody. Hit the like button on the way out. I hope to get another unboxing up soon. Got some other decks coming in. Ooh, I just got this one, which was on sale, a Black Friday deal from Amazon. It's called the Y Spell Neoteric Feminine Tarot. It's quite something. I can't wait to unbox it. May I have the energy and enthusiasm, inspiration to do so? All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. No, wait. We're not done yet. Everybody settle down and come back into your body. Let's give gratitude to all of us. Gratitude to all of us that are here and listening for the things that we need to hear and ready to hear uncomfortable truths and ready to ask, what can I do? Thank you for all of us. So settle back down into your body, become aware of the sphere around you. And let's just exhale all the way, big deep breath. And as you exhale, send out of your heart just a huge green, pink cloud of gratitude and love and compassion. Thank you for all the lessons that we're learning. Thank you for seeing things so very clearly, no matter how painfully. It's obviously what we need. Thank you for my guides, guardians, allies, and ancestors. Thank you to all of the elements. Thank you to Mother Earth, the author of our physical being. Thank you to Spirit, the indwelling spirit in each of us. And now pay attention to your root chakra again, and any excess energy that you don't need right now, just allow that to go down to the earth. Feel your feet on the earth, feel your hands on the substance of the earth, and send blessings. And now exhaling again, another big deep inhale from the bottom of your lungs to the top. And as you exhale, send that outer layer, let it expand to cover the entire earth and flash it out into space. And with it goes all the pure energies that we've shared tonight, compounded, multiplied exponentially by our own love and willingness to share, to give, to sacrifice, our generosity, our compassion. Let us be boundaryless as far as our recognition of each other as spirit, as family. And once again, exhale, another deep inhale. We're going to send this out to Gaza and to Ukraine out of the heart chakra. Feel that light beaming to where it's needed most. Warmth, food, shelter, water, love, medicine, rescue, sanctuary, support, advocacy, diplomacy, the power of negotiation, the power of the collective together, being peace until everything that can't conform to that just disappears. So mote it be. So mote it be, and blessed be to you all. Thanks again so much for being here. I love you guys so much. And let me know how you think of, Friday night. I mean, I do love our Wednesday nights, but I always say this, I'm thinking of new things. We'll see what happens. All right, you guys. I love you. Take care. I'll see you next time. Till then, this is Luna. Blessed be.